I just arrived at my campsite. I am at a state park in California called MacKerricher State Park in Fort Bragg, and that's just north of Fort Bragg, just about 5 minutes. And I've never camped here before, so I thought, let me give it a try, because I know that I can take Highway 20 into the coast, pretty easily, because I've done it a couple times in the RV. And it's a pretty windy road, but manageable, and there's plenty of turnouts if traffic builds up behind you, which lowers my stress if I have a way to pull over. So I thought, let me give MacKerricher State Park a try, and I'm here to celebrate my birthday. It's Saturday night right now, but my birthday isn't till Monday, so I'm staying here for 3 nights, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And I thought, what do I want to do for my birthday? Camp! That's my favorite thing to do. So on Monday, I have some family and friends coming to join me to help me celebrate my birthday. So I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully it won't rain. The forecast last I checked was possible light rain on Monday. But if that's the case, I definitely will put out my awning in the morning so that we've got cover. So hopefully it won't be a downpour, which so far the forecast is not saying that it will be. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be kind of cooler weather. It's going to be, I think, around 60 degrees, so that's perfect. I think right now I'm going to check out and see. There's supposed to be a trail here. I want to go out for a walk since I was sitting a lot today. Actually, it was only about a 90-minute drive to get here, so not too bad at all. But I want to move my body before it gets too dark, and so I think I will go for a walk. I actually took my rig. The other reason I'm kind of exhausted, my back is killing me, and so are my shoulders, is that my rig desperately needed a bath, a wash, and so I took it to a self-serve place. And that motion of trying to reach really high to get up there was hard on my shoulders, but I did it. It just took me forever to get it done. And it was so sweet. There was this woman who worked there at the place, and she offered to climb up on my roof and hose that off for me. And she did it. And I tried to tip her, and she said, "Oh, no, I don't need that. Thank you anyways." And I just thought that was so sweet of her. I was like, wow, there's a lot of good people out there. So, unfortunately, where I park my rig, it's kind of close to a pine tree, and there's a lot of pine needles that are falling on the roof of my rig, unfortunately, where it's stored. So she was able to hose those all off for me and get rid of that and just all the dirt that's accumulated up there. So that was great. But yeah, I'm just a little tired from all that, movement of trying to get to the top. It's just really hard to reach way up. I had a young man also offer to help me, and I was like, no, I think I've got it. It's okay. I must be definitely sort of, I guess, a senior now. I'm not willing to to say it or admit it, but yeah, I guess I'm a senior, and people see it that way, so they want to help, which is very sweet. I had another young man today offer to let me sit in his seat. I was waiting for my lunch to arrive, and he offered me a seat, and I said, no, it's okay. I'm fine. It's really sweet of you to offer, though. Thank you, So that was really great. So yeah, it's a Saturday, so it is a little busy right now, even though it's just like, very beginning of May. But I have like this side over here, it's just greenery. So I've got nice views over there, but let me just show you around a little bit. So I've got this cool Rubicon Jeep next to me. It looks like they have a rooftop tent there, so that's very cool. And some other campers here. Yeah, so I've got greenery on this side. So that way, you know, I can just keep my curtains open there and just enjoy this view out to the beautiful greenery. And then in the back here, I got some more nice greenery here. Bear box. And an old picnic table. I think what I'm going to do for my little birthday party is put my awning out like I said. And then set up my little table under that. If it's not raining, we could sit at the picnic table because I did bring a little happy birthday picnic table cover. And then this side is, you know, looking out to the campsite next to me. So I decided to keep that closed. But, yeah, it's quite green and lovely. See, she's all nice and shiny. I did, did the wax too, so she's nice and shiny. I love a clean rig. Nice clean windows, I can see out of them. Love it. Not sure where this little trail leads. It's just a few paces up from my campsite. All sort of sand dunes. Very pretty. Close enough to the ocean that you can hear the ocean. Yeah, this is great. Looks like it might lead to the coastal trail up here. There's supposed to be a lake around here too, but it must be smallish. See if I can find it at some point on this little camping trip. So yeah, I think this might be the coastal trail, and I don't know how far it is, but if you go this way, I think it eventually leads to a boardwalk. Alright, well I found the lake. I'm going to walk closer to the lake. So, yeah, the boardwalk hike is over there, and I've been on it a number of times, so I don't think I need to do it again right now, but I do want to see the lake. Oh, the ivy is blooming right now, so pretty. Very pretty. I just read a sign that was talking about how ravens are kind of increasing around here because they're intelligent birds, and so they're figuring out ways to get to human food and trash, things like that. But unfortunately, the downside is because they're increasing in number, they're also destroying some of the local population birds' nests and so forth. So the sign said, "Please don't feed the ravens." So pretty. But just standing here right now and watching the birds and listening to them is pretty cool. The sand here is very cool. It's like little tiny pebbles. Little tiny pebbles. So cool. Not too far from here is Glass Beach, which the last time I was there I couldn't find very much glass. It's been picked over to where there's hardly anything left, unfortunately, here in Fort Bragg. I smell the sea salt and the brine and the fishy smell. What is it they say about the ocean? There's a lot of is it electrons in the air that really make you feel relaxed, and sure does. Amazingly, I have like 3 bars of service here at MacKerricher State Park, and I was just looking up on the internet, and it's not electrons, actually, it's ions, because of all the salt, sodium in the ocean. And I just noticed that I can take a pretty deep breath without feeling tightness and coughing that I usually get from my asthma. And they said that the negative ions and the salty mist can actually help with asthma here at the beach. Maybe that's why I'm so always attracted to come to the ocean, because it feels like I can breathe better here. In fact, there's a name for that, halotherapy, I think it's called. It's like salt therapy, where you can go to these salt rooms. I've always wanted to try them out. It's supposed to help with asthma, and I think it's good for inflammation. But yeah, this is a low-cost, free way to do it. Get my halotherapy. Is just be here at the ocean. Scientists haven't really proven that it helps, but anecdotal evidence, people reporting that it seems to help their asthma. And I feel it too. I can feel like I can take a deep breath and my lungs aren't as tight. Wonderful. That's a nice little campsite. I don't know what the number is. It's number 106. You know, am I walking around the campground? You know, some people create lots of ambiance at their campsite. Lights and their tables filled with stuff. It's cute. Got a fire going and all that. I smell the wood fire. It smells so good. Love that smell. But, yeah. Oh, there's that pop-up tent. I actually had to sell mine. I didn't use it all that much. Not because I didn't like it, but because it was just too hard for me to get it up by myself. I just don't have the upper body strength to get it up. So I had to sell it. I was sad about that. I got it for a good price, and I sold it for pretty close to what I bought it for, so that was good. That's a nice campsite there. But now they're definitely not level there, but it's interesting they don't have any levelers on their back there. I can't stand to not be level. This is a nice level. Oh, it's a handicap site. That's why. Where am I? I'm kind of getting lost here. Well, the numbers are getting smaller. 96. I'm 79. So I think I'm going the right way. Well, this is kind of one thing I don't like. Okay, good. Somebody's playing their country western really loud in the park host, I think, just went over to tell them to turn it down. All right, back at camp. Yay. Just to clarify, I don't have anything against country music. It's just not, you know, one of the genres that I like. But I was passing some other campers on the way in, and they were playing some kind of alternative music, kind of loudly too. So I just think it's interesting that people have to be playing some kind of music loudly, even when they're out in nature. I'm like, what is that about? That you can't even just listen to natural sound, and then you're also not being considerate because you're playing your taste of music for others that may not like it. Not to mention you're ruining their camping experience. So I never understand it when people play music loud enough that it can be heard in the next campsite. And in these types of state parks, you know, you're right on top of each other, so you really shouldn't play any kind of music. I wouldn't. I have never done it. So I just think it's good etiquette to not really play any kind of music, or if you're going to, really, really, really low so that only you can hear it, but not loud enough that it's carrying throughout the campground. That's just not fair or nice or good etiquette. So I didn't report any of them. I was just walking back from my hike, so it wasn't me, but I'm sure campers nearby complained. But yeah, it's tough because where I live and where my rig is parked, there's not a whole lot of national forest camping near where I am. And so it's just difficult because I have to then rely on paid campgrounds, which gets expensive, but it's also just a lot more noisy. So it's not great that I don't live close to a lot of national forest. I mean, there's actually a big place. It's there's Mendocino National Forest, and I think there's some BLM land in Mendocino and Lake County. But when I researched them, they didn't seem like they would be easy for me to get to in my rig. And I just thought, no, I don't want to try it. I don't want to do that. It's just too stressful for me to try and, do some gnarly roads. I am planning a trip in June where I'm going to be camping in some national forests, but it's more in Central California. So hopefully I will like that, and hopefully the roads in won't be too difficult for me. So, but I want to try it and see how it goes, because I sure would like to have that feeling that I had when I camped at one national forest up in Oregon on my trip last year, late last summer on my 2-month trip that I went on up to the national parks. But I stopped and camped a few nights at a national forest, and I pretty much had it to myself. And it was just so quiet and peaceful. And I loved that I could have all my windows open and not worry about it because it was totally private, So I missed that experience. I'd love to recreate that experience. It was a little scary going out of that place because I got a little lost, and I didn't have cell service, so it was a little scary, but I managed to get out. But yeah, I'm not experienced with that, so I just have to be careful. So this is the state park that I'm staying at, and it's 9 acres. It's named after a gentleman that bought this land back in the late 1800s, and then his heirs sold it to the state in 1949. But I'm camping here, and then today I walked down here and then hung out around the Lake Cleone. I was just reading in the state park brochure that the reason there's a lake here is that they built this haul road, and so it was blocking the seawater from coming in, so it formed a lake there. So maybe tomorrow morning I will, like I said, drive down there again and hang out to see the birds in the morning. And then if, I don't know what time they open up the gate, but hopefully I can drive out here and see the seal watching station. There's a lot of beaches down here where you can watch the seals. Although, I just realized I forgot to bring my binoculars. I think they're in my car, darn it anyway. But this is the coastal trail, and I just realized it goes really far, actually. Coastal trail goes pretty far, so you can walk it quite some distance there. All right along the coast. It is the coastal trail. I think it keeps going down here, too, so towards Fort Bragg. But yeah, it's a 9-acre park I was reading. Well, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Still actually wearing my jammies. My little tie-dyed nightgown. I just got up, just woke up, and open up my windows, and this is my favorite thing to do, is to sit back here and gaze out my windows and look at what's around me. I just love it. With my freshly washed windows, it's especially nice. It's overcast this morning so far, although I think it's going to sort of stay this way today and tomorrow, unfortunately. So it looks chilly out there. It's not too cold inside right now, actually. Doesn't feel that chilly, so that's good. I slept well. I think my walk last night after I did the long drive really helped, so I slept great last night. Anywho's, I'm gonna get my act together here pretty soon and hopefully head on over to that to the lake where the birds hopefully are, and maybe over to the seal rock if it's open. And then I want to head over to the Botanic Gardens. It was really quiet and really peaceful last night. I think this rig is pretty well, built and soundproof, because I don't hear a whole lot. If all my windows are closed, I really don't hear a whole lot. I didn't hear the waves, and I don't have the vents open, so I can't hear the waves. Although if I did open the vents or windows, I probably could hear the ocean from here. But it was so wonderfully quiet here last night. I loved it. That helps you sleep, that's for sure. But yeah, I think I'm just going to make some hot tea and get going here, get dressed. Well, I'm up here at the upper parking lot where the seals are, and I'm surprised there's actually, I'll show you when I get outside, more cars than I thought there would be at 8 a.m. But I have a feeling a lot of locals come over here to fish. So, but obviously plenty of parking for me, so just parked in a regular parking spot. And I'm sticking out a little bit, but enough for cars to get by. But yeah, it's beautiful here in the morning. Misty fog, so pretty. It's actually not that cold, but I'm layered up just in case. Welcome to MacKerricher State Park. It is beautiful. All right. Let's keep going. There's my beautiful rig up there. I still marvel at the fact that I have my home with me when I'm on the road. I just love it. So pretty already. Very invigorating. I'm at the Botanical Gardens parking lot. There's overflow parking available for oversized rigs, which is nice. I'm just making my breakfast. I've got some chicken maple breakfast sausage. Just cooked that up. And I've got some toast going, gluten-free toast going. And then I'm going to make some eggs. So I want to make sure I'm nice and full and nourished before going into the Botanical Gardens. Well, I'm at the Botanical Gardens and there's going to be so much to film. I'm going to try not to go too crazy. This video is already getting pretty long. But it's just already really stunningly beautiful. I feel like I could be in England right now. Beautiful. I love the ferns. One of my favorite ferns is the angel hair fern. You can have that as a house plant and they're beautiful.
azaleas.
Well, the weather was not cooperative this morning for my birthday. It was raining, but it literally actually just stopped a few minutes ago, which is good because my family and friends are arriving shortly. So, and it's supposed to just be cloudy for the rest of the day. So, got lucky there. And, I tried to actually get my awning out, but it was not cooperating. It did not want to come out. It just would stop about a third of the way. So I didn't want to mess with it. I guess I got to get that looked at. Also yesterday, unfortunately, my check engine light came on. And so I'm going to take it to a mechanic in the morning. I want to protect my birthday and not do anything about it today. But I'll take it in tomorrow before heading back home, because I do have to do kind of a lonely rural road to get back home. So I just want to make sure it's nothing serious. So, first time getting a check engine light. But actually the sun is starting to peek out, so it actually is really starting to look kind of nice. So I'm happy. The campground emptied out this morning. I was a little surprised because it's a Monday. I was thinking a lot of people would be leaving yesterday on Sunday, but there were several campers that stayed over Sunday night and left this morning, Monday. So now the campground's pretty empty, except for this person over here, this family. There's still some campers over there. But this is nice. I was worried that if there was some, loud family right next to us, it could sort of ruin the ambiance for my little birthday party. So I'm a happy camper. It's all working out. And it's going to be a really nice little celebration. So I'm happy because, people are going out of the way to come to my little birthday party, which means a lot to me. A friend that's coming, that actually drove yesterday in, and it took her 4 hours to get here with her boyfriend, and then my sister's driving an hour and a half, so it's really great. I have my little birthday necklace on. It looks like my friends have arrived, so I'll talk to you later. Walk on it and it won't, your leg won't sink.
They love you a lot, Gracie. Yeah, they love you a lot. You did a big hole. You did it all the way to China.
Oh, you did it all the way to China.
Victoria is earthing. She's really earthing. She's getting it going here. For her birthday, she's going to be so healthy.
My Gracie.